Why we should look at value streams and not hierarchies. Today's 5 minute short. Hi, I'm Joshua Barnes, and I'm joined by Al Shalloway. And this is definitely an interesting topic as it relates to some of the other points that we've had on value streams. And if you think about the typical hierarchy, the reporting structure in organizations, we see that the doers of work are reporting to a manager who might be reporting to a senior manager or director, and all the way on up. And in those types of hierarchies, we also see a lot of waiting time, a lot of decision latency. We see a focus on people being properly utilized or highly utilized or 100% utilized. And the question then is, if there's so much focus on the people and managing them, who's managing the value? Who's looking at the flow of value through the value stream? So, Al, what are some of your thoughts in this space?
So I got to make a comment that actually illustrates all this. When you said 100% utilized, you mean you're only utilizing your people 100%?
Yeah, right, exactly.
I remember a few years ago when people say, "Oh yeah, we scheduled them for 140% utilization," and it's because, well, we know they're not really doing everything we're scheduling them for at the time. So this focusing on productivity or busyness or working is a real problem, and it shouldn't be surprising. Consider when you are organized in hierarchies, you have people reporting to you. Well, it makes sense that you would see if they're working full time. It makes sense if you see they're working on the right things. It even makes sense to make sure they're doing a good job. But your focus is totally on the people, and it's as if I can tell what they're doing. So this is the whole idea that the people close to the work know better. So it actually, when you think about it, this whole hierarchical structure for managing work is flawed just from that alone. But see, this is a systems thinking idea that systems inform behavior, but it's worse, a lot worse than this. Consider your work. Your work comes in and it goes to one group and then another group and then another group. And when it gets approved, it then goes into the development group and maybe ops and maybe gets support and maybe goes out the door. It cuts across the organization. So we're all this busy focusing on people. See, the issue isn't so much hierarchies. It's where hierarchies have us focus. Right. Focusing on the people doing the work is not effective, because if we look at them, we'll see, wow, they're busy. They're productive. They're working on the right stuff. They're all good. Wow, we're awesome. But if you were to look at the work, you'd see, because people are so overutilized, that something comes in, somebody meets somebody else, so they have to put it aside and wait for them, and then that person gets back to them, and now they forgot what that's about, and it's, you could say it's multitasking, but it's a lot worse, because all this delay results in very poor feedback. You make mistakes, you don't notice it, and of course, notice when they come back to you, they're now interrupting you. So the whole way of organizing by people has us do all these interruptions, multitasking, and the work starts and stops and starts and stops and starts and stops. And in most companies, that work is waiting more often than anything else. This is why looking at work in process is good, although that's another topic. So this is what I call the inherent problem. Our work, it goes across the organization, but we manage it top to bottom. And if you think about this, see, then you're managing the work. You're not managing your people, which is what Agile's been talking about anyway. But it still has you manage the work, because it still is worried about all these hierarchies. Yeah. So to me, when we talk about top down or bottom up or top down and bottom up, we're just talking in better ways about old school thinking. We should not be thinking in terms of hierarchies. Hierarchies, or the organization of the structure, should be supporting the flow of work. So this trying to get a flat organization is not, in my opinion, the right thing to be doing. Yeah, flatter is probably better than really tall. I mean, probably, no doubt. But if you focus on let's squish the hierarchy, you're going to do a lot of things that aren't good. You're going to get people nervous. Oh, where's my job? I like the line I heard somebody say years ago. You don't have role security, but you have job security. Yeah. And if you think about it, managers are not stupid. They're not chickens. I really hate the downplaying of management in the Agile space. And the Agile Manifesto doesn't mention them once as an indication of that. So what you want to do is say, how can smart people who are currently managing people, how can they learn to manage the environment that people are in? Now we call that, I forget, the self, like we're servicing and people like that. But no, it's not about taking care of the people that way. I mean, yeah, we want to take care of them. We want to take care of them by putting them in a great environment. And that's the job of management, is to help create that environment. Then teams can self-organize within that context because that's their little part of the value stream. And it makes it where everybody's on the same side. No, run out of time, but I got two more things I got to say real fast. If you think about it, once you start attending to value streams, a few things happen. First of all, people can align to the value in the value streams. It gets you to focus on removing delays. It gets you to think of the bigger picture, not just your little part of it.
Yeah.
And it opens the door to align particular products to particular value streams. This is the whole project to product idea. So value streams are essential in many, many ways. That's a quick wrap up since I'm trying to keep them short.
Thanks everyone for attending this 5-minute short or watching it on replay. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat on LinkedIn and we'll get a reply out to you. We'll see you next time.